What's going on, guys? It's Jeff. So Call of Duty ended up putting out a whole bunch of different blog posts and information out there, and they flooded the timeline everywhere during my birthday. By the way, thank you guys so much for all the happy birthdays. It was a good day chilling. Saw Terrifier 3 as well. I mean, I watched Terrifier 1 and 2, dude. I don't know how much further they can go past this one. I don't even... Anyway, they have a Launch Comms Gear Up Intel, and then they also have Launch Comms Weapons Hot Intel. Charlie Intel also posted a whole bunch of stuff, so anything that I miss in here specifically, I'm sure Charlie Intel has highlighted at least somewhere. So October 18th, 2024. It's the 19th now, so armaments, intel, primary, secondary, and melee weapons. So basically, this blog post just breaks down every primary, secondary, melee weapon. They're also going to be doing more launch comms as like each day progresses. So I know that I've been doing a ton of Sparking Zero. I could realistically cover these updates as they release more and more information. Less than a week, so I can imagine if they got like 3 or so more blog posts, they're definitely going to be posting one pretty often. So we got the XM4, we've seen that already. So looking at this, we have 7 assault rifles, 6 SMGs, 2 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 4 marksman rifles, and 3 sniper rifles. Now going over to Charlie Intel's tweet here, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has a total of 33 weapons at launch, which is even less than the 37 of Modern Warfare 3 last year. For those on the Mastery Camo grind, there's less weapons this year to work through to get the camos. Now while that is true to, you know, go and get 1 Mastery Camo, or even 2, this one has 3 camos though. Technically, you could say that there was a grind for the MW2 weapons in MW3 Zombies, which could count as 3, but this is the first time that we have 3 across multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. We didn't have a Warzone grind before, so it's a whole different ballgame. I'm just saying, people that are trying to go for all 3 like myself, it's not necessarily less. 4 less weapons than that is really not that bad, and 33 weapons total is not bad at all to me. I am seeing people say things like, you know, took 4 years to add this, 4 years, Skull, 4 years. Okay, wait, let me do the math. So we got 25 primaries, it's listed right there, 6 secondaries, and then 2 melee weapons, which is 33. Yeah, no riot shield at launch either, which is, honestly, I'm kind of happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. The riot shield, I know that it's meant to be a fun thing, and it does add a whole other, you know, play style to everything, but people really don't use the riot shield in, like, within modern Call of Duty. They just are more problematic than an actual play style. People just threw it over their back on their shoulder with overkill or whatever. I did the same shit. Now, given people did do it during the golden era as well. Some people did it over on Black Ops 2. Player levels, weapon lock criteria. So we get the XM4 immediately, AK-74 is at level 10. We got the Ames GPR 91, Model L, the Goblin AK-2. AS-Val is at 55. Okay, so AS-Val might be one of those weapons that, you know, you get the perma unlock with, especially if you're doing the prestiging process. Every weapon that's like very, very late are definitely good candidates to unlock. Like maybe the baseball bat might not be a bad idea. We'll have to see how it works out. It might not require a whole bunch of planning and stuff around it. You could always just, you know, pick a different weapon in a different category, and then once you hit that level again during the prestige, the next prestige, you could do it then. You just have to keep track of it. And I usually have a like a spreadsheet to be able to count them all. I might just edit the current one that I have and then just take all of the names and just put them all in there, just copy paste all of these just to at least mark them all. Or you could even just screenshot this and then mark it over on Photoshop or whatever. I am happy that the first sniper rifle we get is, it's not the LR762, which to me felt really slow, and I don't think that it's going to get any better than that. We now get the LW3A1 Frostalot. A lot of people are just, you know, looking at it's an L96, which I am a massive fan. Oh yeah, okay, so they show all of them right here with all these high quality shots of them. Looks really good. XM4, the 74. I wish it was an AK-47. I like the harder hitting assault rifles a lot of the time, especially because I play hardcore and I don't want any hit markers whatsoever, for the camo grind anyway, specifically. Sometimes you run into situations where, you know, it's more than one shot at a distance or something. I prefer to have a stronger bullet per. The 74 has weaker shots on it. It's a little bit more accurate than a regular 47. Ames 85 really reminds me of like a Galil. This thing looks more like an LMG than anything to me, but yeah. The Model L, if they were to drop on the ground next to each other, it might be difficult for me to tell. Goblin MK2, this one looks weird. Has a 20 mag size. So it's in the assault rifle category, but it's semi-auto. Okay, and then we have the AS-Val, which really a lot of people ran around with the OG AS-Val is more of like an SMG AR hybrid option. Incredibly powerful on there, but who knows on here. The iron sights are always clean. Hopefully they're nice and clean on this game. We got SMGs, the C9, KSV, the Tanto, we already know that one. The PP919, very, very unique weapon with a big magazine. You only spawn in with 2 mags, so that'll still take you a long way in hardcore anyway. Jackal PDW, we all know about that. The compact kind of reminds me of I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Over back on Black Ops 1 there was a weapon named the Kiparis. People would dual wield them a lot. We got the 2 shotguns. 2 shotguns is kind of surprising. I'm not like a massive shotgun fan or anything, but only 2 is kind of odd to me. Usually it's like 3 or 4, isn't it? We got the Marine SP and the ASG 89. This one's semi-automatic while this one's pump. LMGs, we got the PU, then we got the XMG, and we got the GPMG. Marksman rifles, a SWAT, we've already seen it. Sarkov, I feel like people are just gonna call it the Tarkov. Maybe it is said like Tarkov, but I'm I'm thinking it's supposed to be Sarkov. The AEK, the M10, and then the sniper rifles here. Here it is. It's beautiful. Hopefully this is a more fast firing rate. Now see, this says has a decent rate of fire and handling speeds, but substantial recoil. One shot to the head, upper chest, and upper arms. So this is definitely supposed to be the faster one because it's to the upper chest, head, and upper arms, but it doesn't say anything about stomach shots kill. And it's got a decent fire rate. Meanwhile, we can go look over at the LR762, which we were using during the beta. This one specifically says slower handling. Head, chest, and arms. So we'll see. Hopefully the L96 is, you know, consistent and not annoying to use. Usually when I'm doing the camo grind anyway, I will switch to core whenever I do the sniper rifle. Just because the longer it takes for me to die using a sniper rifle, the better. Because I have more of an opportunity to still just kind of tank some bullets and take the shot. Even if there is crazy flinch or whatever, we got attachments and stuff like that. I have a feeling they're gonna make us choose between the flinch resistance and speed, but we'll have to see how much of a trade-off that actually is. Because over on the LR762, the way that we were building it, we weren't really sacrificing any speed to get the flinch resistance. We've got the pistols, 9mm, the Grekova, GS45, and the Strider 22 launchers. We got the Sigma. I think that was the one we were using. And then we have the HE1. Then we got the knife, of course, a classic. And then we have a baseball bat. I assume it'll work like, you know, the other melee weapons that were also bats and stuff like that, especially from Cold War, which had a ton of different melee weapons. They're showing the firing range here. It looks pretty good. Hopefully it'll be nice. There's a thing to test your recoil pattern as well, as opposed to needing to, you know, shoot over at the wall in the current one that we have. This one, we can see the pattern. Global weapon builds. Yeah, they're pretty confusing with the way that they're talking about this stuff. I'll have to see like what is and isn't the limitation rather than just reading all of this shit. Good job on the blog though, guys. I'm happy that you're communicating at the very least. And then we have this. This looks really good. The thing is, it looks really good, but it could also be inaccurate. We'll have to just see how accurate this is, but this looks very, very detailed, which I really love. I don't like just having to feel out, you know, what my weapon is supposed to be doing. I would like to know the numbers and not have to depend on, you know, the usual people we have to depend on in the community to show us the numbers straight up. Now, they'll do it anyway for us because there's also usually outliers, and measuring the practical time to kill is just, yeah, it's pretty annoying. So there's also like the theoretical like time to kill versus like actual real game time to kill, which is another thing. We got the optics. We know that they got a ton of optics, muzzles. Is there any crazy underbarrel thing? Okay, so this is a noob tube or a shotgun or some shit on here, right? So combs are specifically for sniper rifles and no other class. We got firing mods, rapid fire, overpressure, recoil springs, NATO, FMJ. This one just basically breaks down a whole bunch of the weapons and attachments and stuff like that, especially all the stuff that we didn't see in the beta. But then we got this one, Gear Up Intel. This other blog post shows like the tacticals, more tacticals. We got the stims, the decoys. I wonder how useful the decoys would be. I remember the decoy spam and the other shit. I'm also still curious how good or bad the smoke grenades are. I remember specifically talking about the smoke grenade during the beta, and I feel like I would have tested it out. Maybe there was like a default class that had it that I missed, but I don't recall at any point seeing how good or bad the overall smoke grenade is. Depending on the map, especially on, say, Nuketown, for example, smoke grenades are beautiful. People hold the most annoying lines of sight, especially over on Nuketown. Like, smoke is so neat. Since I'm playing, like, solo the majority of the time, I have to control the map in some way. I can't depend on my team all the time to be able to control lanes and stuff. Obviously, the whole battle of, you know, using thermal smokes and stuff like that, that all goes down. Then people start using cold-blooded and stuff to counter the people using that. It goes on and on. So, as a note, Last Stand is returning in Black Ops 6 as a field upgrade. Last Stand is back. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what their obsession is with this. They're doing this. It's called a morphine injector. That's crazy. For duration, fatal damage puts you into a last stand state. Teammates can revive you or get a kill to self-revive. So it's not a thing where, you know, it's going to be active at all times. It's not activated, you know, automatically. It's not activated when you die a certain amount of times, like a death streak, like Final Stand or Dead Man's Hand. It is a thing where you have to preemptively hit yourself with the injector, which could also just make you vulnerable right there. You could do the injection right before you go out and challenge, or even maybe when you're running away, you do the injector. But basically, you have to know that you're going to be getting in a fight and going to lose or die or potentially die to even utilize the last stand state to begin with. But then also, on top of that, we don't know what the animation is like whenever you get knocked into last stand. Like in some games, the animation when they're falling down is actually pretty slow. And then other games, it's it's very, very fast. So we'll have to see how quickly somebody can start shooting their pistol at you as soon as they get down. I think if it takes a long time for them to fall down and then pull their pistol out and then start shooting, I think that this won't be really that big of an issue, but it will be annoying whenever you find someone using it for sure. But we do have a lot of other, you know, crazy things in there, like the acoustic amp, the neurogas, the sleeper agents. We saw a lot of clips with the sleeper agent, though it did get adjusted if I remember right. And also they got all the perks right here. So we got Gung Ho, Dexterity, Scavenger, Assassin, Bruiser, Double Time, Bankroll. That's all the red ones. And again, in this game, you can like mix and match all of them, especially using perk Greed. So we have Gung Ho, Dexterity, and Scavenger also competing with Ghost, Ninja, Flak Jacket, and Tac Mat. And depending on how the footsteps are, Ninja could potentially be a crutch. People were covering this before, I didn't talk about it, but they were showing off their adjustments to audio and stuff with the footsteps, and they had like these cool like graphs and stuff like that and demonstrations overall about how the footstep sounds are bouncing off of walls and stuff and traveling further. You could hear people from very, very far away. Now this is in a completely silent map down a hallway where the footsteps are echoing and stuff, and you are actively listening. So during the game, it might not be as crazy, and I am a little worried about how hardcore Black Ops 6 is going to play, considering core was very, very fast, but hardcore tends to slow down a lot because you die so quickly, and usually the first shot wins. So I'm curious how people are going to be playing Black Ops 6 hardcore during the grind. They're going to be sitting around a lot. It's going to be very annoying, where basically I'm just going to have to sit on head glitches and challenge them back, and at that point would mean that I don't necessarily need Ninja. Or are you still going to be able to move around a whole bunch and you want to be able to flank and do other things like that, and you'll use Ninja? Did a very good job in terms of like making it a certain archetype, but seeing and confirming across the board that all of these in perk 1 will compete with each other. Does Ninja even completely silence your footsteps or just dampen them? And also they updated the zombies HUD here. A lot of people were crying and complaining about Liberty Falls. Me personally, I was looking forward to playing Liberty Falls the way that it was shown initially. They did do an update to Liberty Falls overall to make it more, I guess, gray and depressing, but just the overall description of what Liberty Falls is supposed to be is a small town that was just recently hit by the infection. So there's obviously not going to be a bunch of portals and the sky ripping open and interdimensional beings traveling around. It's supposed to look not crazy zombified. In my opinion, that's how I thought that it was supposed to be. And I looked forward to playing on a nice, sunny, bright map with a bunch of bright zombie death. But no, they now made it like really gray and like kind of washed out looking. I don't really know. But the bigger thing here, instead of, you know, just changing the time of day or making it cloudy or something like that for the map, they changed the HUD around. Character portraits are now in the lower left. You can see it. Made color adjustments to the HUD overall to make certain things pop a lot more, because that's really what zombies is. Even though it's supposed to be like this dark kind of thing, there's also a lot of very bright, like neon lights and things like that. So having bright perks on the screen, very important. The bright tallies in the top right as well. Obviously, round-based zombies is back. Beautiful. They got zombie-specific widgets. They got the gobblegum reward animation is added in. And again, visibility sliders and options. So you can turn a lot of these things on and off if you don't like them. So you go and check it out over on their blog over on callofduty.com if you want to know any of the extra information or whatever. But 33 weapons I don't think is bad, especially doing all 3 mastery camos. It's still going to be a grind. It's still going to be a good amount. With that said, before I was able to go and unlock both of the mastery camos, I believe within like 12 days or something. Each of them, just say roughly a week each. I don't, however, know how long the Warzone one is, because again, we still don't see any of the challenges in here. Maybe one of the blog posts in the future will talk and discuss the details on all of the challenges for the camos specifically, so we have an idea of what we're doing here. It's obviously going to be kills. We're probably going to have headshots. Is it going to be a bunch of long shots? Is there going to be like really, really bad? I've talked about this before, but Treyarch has a history of having some pretty bad challenges, but we'll see.